Do you own an Isuzu, or perhaps you're looking to buy a 4x4 for the first time? We're here to answer all of the hard-hitting questions that you've got. So come along with us as we take on the Isuzu iVenture Club, a special Women's Day edition. Take the Isuzu MU-X and D-MAX along this training track in controlled conditions with seasoned professionals and get you understanding the basics of off-roading. Learn everything from emergency braking to navigating a water crossing and how a 4x4 system works. To answer all of your Isuzu and 4x4 questions, we have got Matt Taylor, Isuzu iVenture Club instructor. Question number one, what are some basic accessories that you should take when you're off-roading?
Well, I think credit where credit's due. I mean, from an ability to hit the tracks, the cars are ready to go. Yeah, like today, we just basically kept our tyre pressures at the placard settings. We've still got highway terrains, and away we went. We literally got through today without any accessories. But if we are going remote, if we're thinking about maybe equipping ourselves, we need a couple of the basics like an air compressor, something to deflate the tyres properly. From recovery perspectives, we definitely want to take a proper shovel. Yep, maybe a couple of straps and definitely some traction boards like some Max Tracks. That would be sort of the go-to kit for us. And that's literally what we would take as spares and just in cases on our Venture Club.
Question number two, what should you consider when you're four-wheel driving on your own, and is it okay to four-wheel drive on your own?
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes being out there and being remote and being on your own is what makes it so special. Yeah, I think on those isolated and especially remote trips, you do need to take a few safety precautions with you. It could be basics like supplies, water and food to appropriate levels. I think the go-to tool that people take now with them is Starlink. You know, it's essentially replacing satellite phones out in the bush, because not only can you make that connection, but you've got data as well.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. Question number three, can you use 4 high on a dirt road?
Yes, and you should. At the end of the day, if we're on a gravel road and it's relatively high speed, that loose surface has about half the grip. What's a magical way we could double our traction? By switching from 2-wheel drive straight into 4-wheel drive.
Now, question number 4, what are some tips when you're traveling on wet terrain and braking makes you slide out?
So on those like really slippery descents, it's probably mud and snow, things like that, we have a button. We've got another magic button. All you need to do is press the hill descent control. Yeah. The difference from you as the driver, you're on the brake pedal, you're controlling all 4 brake pressures equally, and that might be too much for the rear axle, and that's where that slide out effect comes from. Hill descent control is literally independent braking for each wheel. So if one has grip, we can give it more braking. If one has less grip, and it's so fast, it's working at 100 times a second, and that's what's going to keep that car stable on those slippery descents. Probably one thing worth pointing out is on those descents, we want to make sure if you were in an off-road capacity, you haven't got the rear diff lock turned on, because that would be causing more harm than good on a downhill run.
Is fitted with some really cool tech. Can you give us the top 5 buttons and features that you need when you go off-road?
I think the key magic buttons off-road is our rough terrain mode, which is essentially in 4 words, our off-road traction control. So that's our electronic traction control system, as opposed to our rear diff lock, which is our mechanical traction control system. So sometimes one might be better than the other, but in the new MU-X, guess what? You can press both at the same time and have the best of both worlds if you want. Thinking outside the square, the parking sensors. You know, when you're in the bush and you're so close to trees and long grass, the front sensors are going to be beeping at you. So you need to make sure you find that P button that says P off, and yeah, shut down the parking sensors when you're off-road. We do have an interesting scenario where we want to remove some of the safety systems for some of our driving scenarios. So if you were on the beach, if you were in the mud, now would be the time to remove the factory stability control and the factory on-road traction control. So we're just going to press and hold that one button. If you do that for 6 seconds, it'll power down both of those systems. Because in the sand, you're going to experience this sort of pinballing sensation. The stability control would intervene, it would put the brakes on, it would cut the engine throttle, and then you'd be stuck. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's up to the driver to sort of configure some of these buttons to suit the conditions.
One of the questions that we found most searched on Google is, what is the difference between an Isuzu 4x2 and an Isuzu 4x4?
Truthfully, not much. So mechanically, like, we're going to have the same engine, the same gearbox, the same suspension, the same brakes, the same differential. Literally just the ability to go from 2-wheel drive to 4 high and 4 low. So if you needed a more cost-effective solution as a family car around town and you were never intending on going off-road, grab a 4x2. You can save some money on the way through. If you're towing, it's still got the same towing capacity. It's still got the same capacities because it's essentially the same car. It's just a little bit of the drivetrain changes and you're unlocking an extra ability in the MU-X if you grab the 4x4.
If you are towing, is there a safer option between 4x4 and 4x2, or it does not make too much of a difference?
I think if your goal was as a caravaner was to stay exclusively on the blacktop, on the bitumen sealed surfaces, a 4x2 would be enough. But from my experience, to see the best parts of Australia, you definitely want a 4x4.
What's the difference between all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive?
It's pretty big. Yeah, like in my mind, my perspective, an all-wheel drive car is just a soft roader. Yeah, so it's a little bit of extra traction occasionally, but a 4x4 or 4-wheel drive is designed to go off-road properly. Yeah, mechanically, probably the big difference, 4x4, when you've engaged that system, the power is being split to the front and rear equally, and you need that power delivery for traction. Yeah, and the all-wheel drive vehicles, the soft rotors, don't do that. So if there was a slippery spot in one of the wheels, all the power is going to go there. The car's probably going to get stuck.
How can I tell the difference between a 4-wheel drive and an all-wheel drive?
Well, we could look at the car. Yeah, generally our full-size vehicles are your 4x4s, and any of your mid-size SUVs are traditionally all-wheel drives. Go looking for the badge. A 4x4 badge or an AWD badge would be the difference. But if you were inside the car, you'd be looking for our terrain command, that switch to go from 2-wheel drive to 4 high and then down to 4 low range as well. That would be your easiest way to tell the difference.
So you've travelled quite a lot of Australia, seen quite a lot of different terrain types. Do you need a 4-wheel drive to travel around Australia?
If you want to see the best parts, absolutely. Yeah, hands down, every day of the week, get a 4x4.
We hope you've learned something, and if you're interested in joining the iVenture Club and own an Isuzu, you can head over to the Isuzu website and find out their latest events near you. If you're looking at buying a 4x4 and still not 100% sold on which one, let us know in the comments and we can definitely help you out.